What's going on, everybody? Shane and Jesse here, and let's take a little trip down memory lane for some context. Do you all remember? Of course you do, but do you all remember when the PS2 was just the most dominant thing in the world?
Yes.
Okay.
I do, personally.
Well, remember just after that when they announced the PS3 and it was going to be like $1,500, and everyone was like, "What are you doing?" And Sony said, "You'll get a second job. It's the PlayStation." And everybody said, "No, we won't. That's stupid." And the PS3 was a huge disaster for like 90% of the time it was on the market. It was
About 4 years.
It was getting destroyed by the 360. Well, over the course of that generation, the cycle, that life cycle for the PS3, Sony scratched and clawed their way back to relevance. And by the end of that cycle, they had matched the lifetime sales of the 360. That's something not a lot of people realize, but the PS3 actually caught up and hit that mark worldwide.
This is a pretty big thing considering how bad they started.
Considering that it was an absolute disaster to start off. What I'm getting at here is that coming off the PS2, Sony had this incredible amount of hubris where I think that they genuinely thought, like, we're going to make this thing with the Cell processor, and it's going to be like crazy expensive, but it's the PlayStation, so people will buy it because we're the best. And they kind of got their ass handed to them. People kind of were just like, no, our loyalty does not run that deep. Like, that's stupid. If you make a bad product, we're gone.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. So it humbled them. When the PS4 was announced and it came out, this was a humbler, more gamer-centric. This was a Sony that all of us watching were like, thank God, you get it. You finally have come around. You understand. Because Microsoft was going through their period of hubris where they were like, we're the Xbox, where you can't borrow games and always online, DRM. And everyone was like, fuck off. That's stupid. That's almost as stupid as what Sony did. You overconfident bastards.
I guess everybody's got to do it. Nintendo did it for like 10 years.
Nintendo's had a long cycle of hubris.
You're going to buy it.
We'll do whatever we want. We're Nintendo. What do you mean our sales have gone down every cycle? That's crazy. Well, you would think, looking back at what Sony did with the PS4 over the last 3 years, you would think,
they don't want to do it again.
Nothing could possibly drive them back to that again. Nothing could possibly screw that up. I mean, how could you possibly come up with that much hubris that quickly and start making stupid decisions that quickly? And the answer is apparently very easily for Sony. Very, very easy for them to do exactly what we're talking about. So I'm sure you've all been paying attention to the news and you've all seen what's been going on. But Sony's done some real dumb things over the last week. Microsoft is probably just sitting back like this, like just watching Sony tear themselves limb from limb in a panic-stricken state, just trying to, like, what about this? Just doing stupid things and just creating disasters left and right. So, first off, Sony does something that we all expected them to do. We all knew it was coming. No one wanted it. We all said, Sony, don't make an iterative halfway between this generation and next generation console. Don't do that. That would be dumb. No one wants that. And Sony said, to hell with you. We're doing it. We're making a new system. So they announced not only one new system, but two. You got the slim model here on screen. This is the PS4 Pro, which is going to be $400 out in November. A little different light bar up at the top of the controller there. So they got two systems coming out. One later this month, one in November. And I feel like there's your specs there. Basically, the PS4 Pro is slightly more powerful than the PS4. The GPU is about twice as powerful. The CPU is basically overclocked. They're achieving 4K through this, for the most part, through the software checkerboard emulation, or not emulation, but rendering process that kind of lets them get to 4K, but it's kind of cheating. So the system's like more powerful, and the games do look a bit better. I'm going to show you some footage here of Infamous First Light, where they're showing off the higher resolution rendering and the HDR. So you'll be able to see the difference here, where before and after. This is the before picture where after the colors pop better, things are a little bit crisper. I'm sorry, I had it backwards.
Whoa.
That's the before and after. That was the after was the first one.
But
This
is
the
there a
before.
filter on top of that?
No, they're literally just showing you what it looks like rendering back and forth. This is Horizon Zero Dawn running at 4K. The next shot should be the old version, which honestly doesn't look that much different to my eyes. Maybe a little bit less crisp on the second one. But I mean, we're not looking at like a colossal leap. We're not
See,
looking at a huge difference to me.
I don't know. That's crazy to me because it doesn't look like the same picture.
This one and the
No,
next
the
one.
Horizon
Oh.
Zero Dawn.
Well, I mean, they're not one-to-one comparisons.
Yeah,
I just pulled a
so-
screenshot from the old footage and then a screenshot from the new footage, and there you go. So this was a screenshot from the new footage. It does look pretty crisp. I mean, it's very, very pretty. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's a really, really pretty game. But if you look at the second screenshot, that's also a really, really pretty game.
I mean,
there's
it's not that much of a difference for it to be like I'm gonna go drop $500 more on
$400
this.
more, but still,
Well,
I'm gonna go
still.
throw out my old box and buy a new box. Why? So, I guess if you're just now buying a PS4, now you're choosing between the $300 Slim and the $400 Pro, and I guess that you would probably just go with the Pro. Why not? You might as well. But if you're one of the 40 million people that already own a PS4, I feel like we're all just kind of like,
Yeah,
why?
it's not worth the upgrade in my opinion, and also it still kind of is a slap in the face.
Yeah,
It just feels that way. It just feels.
it's too soon. You know,
Yeah.
and someone I was talking to last night said, well, you know, we do this for cell phones. You know, we upgrade.
Yeah, I don't
3 or
like
4 years
that
for cell phones.
either. So,
But we don't though. We don't though because cell phones are subsidized. When was the last time you paid $400 for a cell phone? You get them on contract. You're subsidized for $200. So no, like that's not. I will not accept that comparison.
and
That's
it
not
wasn't
true.
always like that. Also,
It's been like that for a long time. But you're right.
it's been
not,
like that for
but
the
they've-
majority of the
they've
time
trained
that
us.
people have used cell phones. But at the beginning of it, it really was not like that.
Right. They've trained us into being okay with
Yeah.
that kind of thing. On top of that, the press conference in general was a horrible press conference. People, I mean, you could fall asleep during the damn thing. It was just, which is shocking to me because Sony had been nailing press conferences for the last 3+ years. I mean, it's crazy that they marched this thing out. No one cares. No one wants it. Everyone was just like, okay, I guess. I mean, honestly, who cares? No one has a 4K TV. It's just, I don't know what they're doing. And then to make matters even worse, let me read you a statement here from Bethesda Games. Quote, after months of discussion with Sony, we regret to say that while we have long been ready to offer mod support on PlayStation 4, Sony has informed us they will not approve user mods the way they should work, where users can do anything they want for either Fallout 4 or Skyrim Special Edition. So, on top of all that, telling you, Sony won't let us mod the games the way that we, which is to say, and I'm sure there's some mods for Skyrim and some of the Fallout that are a little questionable.
There are, but
of
there's
questionable
also
repute.
certain ratings on those games themselves. So it feels, and it
Microsoft
probably
is
isn't. It
doing
kind of
it.
feels kind of like censorship, which isn't
Yeah.
like
That's
probably
not
not the best
something-
context for this, but
That's not something most people are down with.
yeah, and that's a Nintendo thing for sure. Like that's them being like, well, some of that stuff isn't really the
They're
greatest.
trying to
and-
they're trying to control their content a little bit too much, and
Yeah.
especially coming from a company that over the last couple of months or a couple of years rather, were so open to funding. I mean, they funded a game like No Man's Sky.
Mhm.
I mean, and I get that those are like apples and oranges, but like this is a company that's been so apt to like allow freedom of their developers to make whatever game
They've
they
been
want.
pretty progressive.
Right, and then for this, mods are a huge part of Bethesda games because let's be honest, their games are kind of broken.
Yeah.
So you can fix them, and you can
You can
tweak
make them
things and-
prettier.
yeah.
I mean, that's like the whole point of those games.
yeah, to some degree. And
And
Sony's
Microsoft has been doing it right.
how crazy is it that 3 years later, are we seeing the tide completely shift? I mean, granted, the
We might
PS4
be.
has like a 20 million unit head start basically at this point, so it's going to take a lot to shift it. Man, it sure does feel like the tide is turning.
I mean, it might be though, because I'm sure that their new console is going to be
Oh yeah, Scorpio is going to make
considerably better.
yeah. And let's go back to the PS4 Pro because that reminds me. There's a point that I really want to make here. Sony has just R&D'd the release of 2 new systems. That costs a lot of money. People don't realize how much money manufacturing R&D and the deals with chipset makers and so forth, millions upon millions of dollars. Here's what I believe happened. I believe Microsoft and Sony both began working on a follow-up to their systems, a year and a half ago in a vacuum, not knowing what the other one was necessarily doing. Maybe knowing that they were working on something, not knowing what. Sony has both companies that you're too far down the road now to make an adjustment. You've already made the deals. You've already probably sent out dev kits. You've already made deals with factories to start manufacturing. It's too late to change. So then rumors start coming out of what Neo is going to be, and everyone says, it's not very powerful. And then rumors come out about what Scorpio is going to be. And everyone says, wow, that's, really, really, really powerful. That is a quantum leap. That is a next-gen system.
Yeah.
Microsoft comes out and announces they're targeting, 6 or 7 teraflops.
Yeah.
PS4 Pro is going to be in the 4 range. I think that when they announced that, I think Sony pretty much was sitting there like, well, shit. Like, they got caught with their pants down. Like, what are you going to do? You can't not release it. You have to earn some of that money back. But when PS4 Pro is sitting there and Scorpio comes out in a year and it makes it look like garbage, are they going to have to then immediately start R&D'ing another system?
They might have to.
It may force their hand. They may have no choice. And that's a lot of money.
And not to, continue down this, but the system that they're making, we've already said that it doesn't seem that powerful, but compared to Scorpio is going to seem, like you said, complete garbage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think
the leap
that,
between PS4 and PS4 Pro is less than the leap between PS4 Pro and Scorpio?
Do you think they're basically pulling an Apple where they're just slightly changing some things? Because I'm sure they have the ability to make it even more powerful, and instead of using software, they could make it.
I think that what happened here is that I think that Sony didn't expect Microsoft to basically. Microsoft, by doing this, they're saying, okay, the Xbox One and PS4 generation, Sony, you won, but we're going to go ahead and start the next generation ahead of time. We're just going to go do the next one.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Sony was prepared for that. I think that they expected Microsoft to make something similar to Pro and then to have parity still.
But what I'm saying, though, is that it just seems like instead of really, taking it to the next level, they were just like tweaking it a little bit, which is like really weird to throw thousands and millions of dollars into something like that.
Well, and I think that annualization equals money, and what Sony has done equals money, theoretically. I've just had a pop up on my screen. Go away, Lenovo. But here's the thing. I don't care about an iterative step. I don't care about a stopgap, a half improvement. I don't care. I don't think anybody does. And on top of that, just wait. Wait till next year. Announce PlayStation 5 in 2017. Release it in 2018. Give me a reason to upgrade that's beyond a little stopgap. And maybe by 2018, the system's been out for 5 years, like what Scorpio's doing. People are gonna be like, all right, I guess I can invest and upgrade. But 3 years for a stopgap, no one cares. No one wants this. No one asked for this. And then when you compare it to what Microsoft is about to do, don't get me wrong. We're both kind of Sony fanboys. We've both loved PlayStation for a long time. What they have done is stupid. And what they've done, I'm going to drop a little teaser here. May do some videos on this later. We are building a gaming PC because I don't know what else to do. My mindset is, if you're going to ask me to upgrade to a new box every 3 years, you can fuck off. With a PC, in 3 years, I can just upgrade my cooler and overclock. 3 more years after that, I can just buy a new video card. Spend $200 on a new mid-tier or high-end video card that's not, not a Titan, but like I spent $200 on a GTX 960 that's going to run everything at 60 frames and higher ultra with an i5 Skylake. I'm not going to have to worry about it for a long, long time. And when I do, I can just overclock. And when that becomes a problem, I'll overclock my GPU too. No problem. I'm just going to have, that's going to be what I'm going to play games on for the next 7-8 years. And when I want to upgrade
what you want,
I'll just upgrade a piece of it. I'm not going to have to throw out. Could you imagine spending $800 on a PC and being like, I've got to throw out my whole box to buy a new PC? No, that's idiotic. Why should we, as gamers, as nerds, if the next generation is not modular, we have a problem. If the next generation doesn't allow us to upgrade pieces of our system, that is a huge fucking issue that we need to stand up and say enough with this bullshit. Enough with us having to throw out a whole freaking box that we just invested $400 into. Especially when that box next to my TV is just a PC. It's running x86 architecture. It's an AMD CPU. It's just it's a PC. It's a PC that they mass produced in a little tidy little box. We should be able to open it up and swap out that GPU. They should be able to offer that to us. And on top of that, PC has sliders, up the quality. When you buy a new video card, the game will just, he's got this video card. Let's up the slider a little bit, give him a little bit better performance. This is not that complicated. This is, to me, if this is not where we go next generation, we've got a serious issue. Hopefully, we'll be bringing you in the next couple of days, maybe, we'll see, some videos or some info on what we did with our PC. I've thought about doing like a time lapse of me trying to build the damn thing, but this is my first full PC build, so like maybe I don't want to let people watch me go I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I will though. We'll see.
I think people would like that. Maybe
they'd like to laugh at me and call me an idiot and call me mean names on the internet. It's probably what'll happen. So I don't know. You have any other thoughts you want to share? I think we've pretty much beaten that dead horse.
Covered them all.
So, well, let us know what you think. Are you happy about PS4 Pro? Am I overreacting? You think I'm crazy?
You're not overreacting.
What do you
I'm
think?
gonna answer that.
Okay, good to know. So, let us know what you think in the comments below. If you liked the video, please like, share, subscribe. Please tell your friends about what we're doing. If you're enjoying our videos, please share them because we're starting from scratch. We had that podcast, but this is a whole new audience. Basically starting from scratch here, and we need your guys' help to get rolling again and to really get some momentum behind us again, which we would really be appreciative of. Talking's hard. It's pretty hard sometimes. So until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.